Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book Networking Like a Pro and creator of the popular program How to Get Out of Your Own Way and Unlock the Mindset of Success. Now, as you can see, I am on the move here, taking a little walk with the DOG here, and we are just having a really good time. It's a nice day. It looked like it rained last night, but I wanted to talk with you real quick about something. A lot of people may or may not know this about me, but I actually like to watch and really read more often, and specifically, I like to read like some sci-fi. So Star Wars has a lot of really good books out. You have the original three movies, and then you have three more after, and then three more before. So that's a total of nine. But there's like another 50 books that kind of, work in the middle there and do some of these things. And what I want to talk about today is what Star Wars has to do with your internal saboteurs. Okay, so let me just kind of unpack this a little bit. So let me give you a little background if you haven't watched a lot of Star Wars. All right, the way Star Wars worked, obviously you have Darth Vader, everybody knows that. You have Luke Skywalker, everybody knows that. You had, the Empire who's trying to get the rebels, and Luke Skywalker and a young, who was it that played Harrison Ford, a young Harrison Ford on the Millennium Falcon, all that good stuff. Most people don't know, I did not know, is that actually the stormtroopers, the big dun, 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 the stormtroopers in the white, they actually were on our side in the beginning. All right. In other words, what happened was, so when you saw the stormtroopers, they were with Darth Vader. It was actually the second or even the first original movie. But before that, when you start looking at the books and things like that, the stormtroopers were actually on our side. It was called the Clone Wars. So the way it worked out initially was we had the Jedi, we had the clones, okay, who were formerly who were eventually became the stormtroopers. You had the clones and the Jedi who were actually fighting against the Separatists. The Separatists was General Grievous, and they had a whole droid army. It was really about a 4 or 5 year, actually it's like 3 years, took a lot of work, okay, and they wound up doing that. Now what happened was, after the Clone War, then Emperor Palpatine decided that, I like this idea of being, like a whole big evil empire, and that's when it went from the Galactic Republic to the Galactic Empire. And when you pick up at the original movies, it's the Empire post Darth Vader, okay, where you're able to see that. Now you're like, Brian, that's great. Maybe I didn't know that, but what does that have to do with like getting out of my own way and my internal saboteurs? Well, part of it is the fact that the internal saboteurs, if you actually look, the book that, as you guys know, I've been reading is Shirzad Charmaine. We talk about this in our mastermind. We're actually having a mastermind call tomorrow night. But we talk about this in our mastermind, which is the idea that when you are in your youth, right, as a kid, the internal saboteurs, what we call the internal saboteurs, are actually your friends. They're there to help you cope with certain things. So, for example, you see some people who they are like, oh, looks like Baxter's got somebody. Hold on for a second. Hey, Baxter. Baxter saw some other dogs. Sometimes he doesn't like that. But the internal saboteurs, they start off as things that are helping you. These are constructs that are helping you. So, like when you're a kid, you might have an internal saboteur that eventually becomes like a perfectionist or controlling or something like that, right? And the reason why it starts off in the first place is maybe because as a kid you're moving around a lot, or maybe kids don't like you as much, or maybe whatever the case may be, and it's a coping mechanism for us to be able to deal with that. Because as kids, there's nothing we could do to impact our environment, is it? It's not like we can go to our parents and be like for me, it was hyper rational, hyper rational. It's not like, which means I had a tendency to take a look at relationships as being transactional. It's not like I could be like Baxter. He's still trying to pull. It's not like I could say, hey, you know what? Mom and Dad, I think you need to show me a little bit more love, or this, that, and the other. No, I had to adjust. And by the way, I'm not throwing them under the bus. They did the best that they could, okay? The point is that these are our ways as kids of dealing with circumstances around us. Now, what happens though is we still, in our adult, we take those same things with us. So, Shirzad makes the point. He says, as a kid, we have a lot of things that we let go of. We let go of baby teeth. We let go of, obviously, the umbilical cord. We let go of, feeding on mom's milk. There's a lot of things that as a kid we keep, that we had, and then we don't keep. The problem is that with the internal saboteurs, these original things that are helping us emotionally and mindset wise, we hang on to. And that's when they become from our friends to people who are actually holding us back and our enemies. And that's exactly what happened in Star Wars, isn't it? Clones started off, the Galactic Republic started off as being in great shape, and then as it went on, not so much. Okay. So I just wanted to be able to do that just because the fact that I think a lot of times our saboteurs, we talk about getting out of our own way. Sometimes they get a little bit of a bad rap. It's like, oh, these bad things. No, actually, they were very good. They helped us. We actually probably couldn't have made it through our youth without them. But as we get older, we have to let them go, just like we would baby teeth, just like we would mom's milk, and we start eating whole food, just like we do. We cut the umbilical cord. It's the same type of thing. We have to get past the controlling behavior. We have to get past the validation. We have to get past the need for, being perfect all the time. We have to get past being hyper rational and having some more relationship to and some emotional connection to the relationship. We have to get past all of that and then move into our adult self, because until we do, we're never going to be able to step into our true potential. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. As a matter of fact, swing on by our Facebook group. You need to go to the Fast Track Success Club.com. That's TheFastTrack Success Club.com. It's got some really good stuff. We've got a group of like-minded individuals talking a little bit about what they need to be able to do to accelerate their goals and reach their success faster. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard, saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.